The Atlanta Falcons find themselves in a peculiar and expensive predicament, one defined by a $100 million commitment and a surprising level of what one insider calls stubbornness regarding quarterback Kirk Cousins. It all began with a blockbuster move, signing Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million deal with $100 million guaranteed, only to stun the NFL world by drafting quarterback Michael Penix Jr. in the first round of the 2024 draft. The shock deepened when, after benching Cousins for Penix late in the 2024 season, the Falcons opted not to trade the veteran quarterback, despite his underwhelming performance. ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano sheds light on the situation, suggesting the Falcons' reluctance to move on from Cousins stems directly from that hefty financial investment. They signed Cousins for $100 million in guaranteed money 14 months ago, and the team's front office didn't like the idea of cutting him after shelling out all that cash for 14 not-so-great games in 2024. Graziano reports. When trade talks did occur, Atlanta reportedly asked interested teams to absorb a significant portion of Cousins' remaining $37.5 million in guaranteed money, a price too steep for suitors to offer a return Atlanta deemed worthwhile. Cousins, before being benched, led the Falcons to a 7-7 record, completing 66.9% of his passes for 3,508 yards, 18 touchdowns, but also a league-high 16 interceptions. His struggles were particularly glaring down the stretch, with 9 interceptions in his final 5 starts, including a 4-pick performance in a crucial Week 12 loss to the Los Angeles Rams. This stubbornness, as Graziano frames it, paint a picture of a franchise caught between a massive financial outlay and a desire to fully pivot to their future under Penix Jr. Cousins is due $27.5 million in guaranteed salary for the 2025 season. Additionally, a $10 million bonus, part of his $100 million total guarantee, vested because he remained on Atlanta's roster 5 days into new league year. This brings the immediate guaranteed money tied to Cousins to a substantial figure, making him potentially the league's most expensive backup and a very difficult player to trade without the Falcons eating significant cash. It's a tough pill to swallow for the Falcons brass, potentially tying up significant cap space that could be used to bolster other areas of the roster, all while their hopeful quarterback of the future watches his highly paid predecessor on the sidelines. While Graziano notes that a trade isn't entirely off the table, perhaps if Aaron Rodgers were unexpectedly become unavailable for a team like the Steelers, or if another team starter suffers an injury during minicamp or training camp, a new market could emerge. The prevailing sentiment is that Cousins could very well spend the entire 2025 season holding a clipboard for Atlanta. This scenario not only presents a financial headache, but also a potentially awkward locker room dynamic, with a highly paid veteran backing up the rookie drafted to replace him. It's a high-stakes gamble by the Falcons, and a complex situation with no easy answers. What do you make of their decision to hold on to Cousins despite the cost, and the clear move towards Penix Jr.? Let us know your perspective in the comments below. The Atlanta Falcons quarterback saga remains one of the league's most fascinating and financially scrutinized storylines, a stark reminder of how quickly plans can change in the NFL and how stubbornly past investments can dictate present and potentially future decisions. The Atlanta Falcons' defensive aspirations are taking shape, but a lingering question mark in the secondary could prompt a significant move, with new speculation pointing toward a familiar face. While A.J. Terrell stands as a cornerstone, the cornerback unit beyond him is an area of concern for Atlanta. Re-signing Mike Hughes provided some stability, but the return of players like D. Alford and Kevin King seems more indicative of a need for depth rather than an abundance of game-changing talent. This very scenario has fueled talk of a potential reunion that could dramatically upgrade the Falcons' pass defense, acquiring current Miami Dolphins cornerback Jalen Ramsey. The veteran's strong ties to Falcons head coach Raheem Morris have long made Atlanta a speculated landing spot, and recent comments suggest this connection remains a powerful factor. NFL insider Steve Weiss recently noted that while Atlanta isn't necessarily in a rush to make a move, Ramsey's relationship with Morris is as strong as it gets. This keeps the door wide open for a potential scenario where Ramsey could join Atlanta, possibly in the 2025 offseason. Such a move would be aimed at completing the team's defensive reconstruction. However, acquiring a player of Ramsey's caliber comes at a cost. The Falcons are already looking at significant future draft capital considerations. For instance, potentially needing a high pick for prospects like edge rusher James Pierce Jr. down the line. Ramsey's own trade value, though debatable, would likely command a notable draft pick, adding another layer to the decision-making process. Despite these considerations, the argument remains strong for Atlanta to at least explore the price in Miami's interest. The Falcons are currently navigating a somewhat constrained financial situation due to Kirk Cousins' substantial contract, with a veteran quarterback remaining on the roster as an expensive backup after the team couldn't find a trade partner willing to absorb a significant portion of his 2025 salary. Nevertheless, this financial reality shouldn't entirely deter the pursuit of upgrades, especially at a position of clear need. The current uncertainty in the secondary is underscored by the fact that rookies like Billy Bowman and Kobe Bryant are contending for significant roles, a testament to the room for improvement. Pairing Jalen Ramsey with A.J. Terrell, even at this later stage of Ramsey's career, would instantly create one of the more formidable cornerback duos in the league. It's a move that could solidify the defensive rebuild, potentially giving Atlanta a much stronger footing to compete for the NFC South title. The question for the Falcons becomes balancing future assets and current financial commitments against the immediate impact a player like Ramsey could bring. Could this be the move that elevates Atlanta's defense to championship contention? Let us know what you think about this potential trade in the comments below. As the offseason progresses, the Atlanta Falcons' pursuit of defensive excellence will be closely watched, and the prospect of adding a talent like Jalen Ramsey remains a tantalizing possibility for a team eager to complete its transformation.